Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and we are going to talk about autophagy fasting. So if you're in my resetter group, you know we've been talking about this the last couple weeks. We've been talking about the Glow 15 book, and I want really, once a month in that group we do a 5-day fast. And this upcoming week, I wanted to do something called an autophagy fast. If you're new to fasting, it's actually a perfect fast for you. If you've been fasting a whole bunch, it's actually a perfect fast for you. So I also think during this time, as we transition from Thanksgiving here in America to the holiday season, that a lot of people don't want to do a water fast at this time. A lot of people don't want a ton of restriction. So I wanted to really teach you guys the principles of autophagy and what does an autophagy fast look like. So I'm taking much of the ins and outs of this fast from this book. This is Naomi Whittle. She has done an amazing job of really zeroing in on what autophagy is and how you can stimulate it. And if you're new to fasting, there truly are 3 different things you're looking for when you fast. You're looking to either get into ketosis, you're looking for stem cell production, or you're looking for autophagy. And autophagy is where your cells, in the absence of food, specifically protein, start to eat the toxins and your body self-detoxifies. So it's an incredible self-regulating system that we were born with, and there are some very specific principles that you're going to need to implement to get to autophagy. Now, somebody asked in my resetter group, what's the difference between this and stem cell production, like in a fast mimicking diet? This is not the fast mimicking diet. This is autophagy fasting, and the goal will not be stem cell production. The goal will be autophagy and how to get this self-detoxification process happening. It will also be ketosis. I'm hoping to teach, some of you are new to fasting and ketosis, so I'm hoping to get you having that self-experience with ketosis this week as well. Okay? But the autophagy fasting is not something where we're looking for stem cell production. Okay. So we want to detoxify the cells. Bottom line, how do we go about doing that? So a lot of the research that Naomi Whittle is basing her book off of is off of one man. He is a Japanese doctor who won the 2016 Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine. And he won it because he figured out that when you restrict food from a person's diet, that the body is so smart, it goes looking for food in the toxins in the cells. Now, he restricted food about 13 to 15 hours. What Naomi Whittle is recommending is, she says the sweet spot is 16 hours. So we are all starting this week, Monday through Friday, you are going to go a 16-hour period without any food. What does that look like? That looks like 8 o'clock you stop eating, and then you don't eat until about, let's see, that 8 to 4, you would eat about 11 or 12 the next day, 12 o'clock the next day. So you got to do your math. If you stop at 6 o'clock, then eating at 6 o'clock, then you could eat at 10 a.m. the next day. But you definitely want to go 16 hours. Now, for some of you, that's going to be tough, and that's great. We want this to be a little tough. For some of you, that's going to be really easy, and you're going to have trouble eating at 16 hours, especially if you've been fasting for a while. You can go longer if you want, but I want everybody practicing at least 16 hours, okay? Second thing that Naomi Whittle mentioned, Ben Greenfield, if you've been following him, mentions. I know it's a big controversy in the keto and fasting world, which is your coffee and tea in the morning with butter in it. So for this fast, because I want to stimulate autophagy, maximum autophagy for you, you can have tea, you can have coffee in the morning, but you're not putting any cream in it, you're not putting any butter in it. Now, I should have brought this up. I'll take a picture of it and put it on the resetter group. but she has something called an Autophagy tea. It's a mixture between green tea and Earl Grey, both that have natural herbs that will stimulate autophagy. And she recommends that you break at 16 hours, you break your fast with autophagy. You can just get Earl Grey and green tea, organic, mix them together, throw some cinnamon in there, and you've got autophagy. Or you can go to her website and buy it. And then you can put your Mct oil in there. You can put a little cream in there if you want. So you could break your fast with some tea and cream. You can break it with coffee and cream if you want. But in that 16-hour window, I don't want you doing any cream or butter or anything in your coffee. Make sense? Okay, so first principle of autophagy fasting, you're going at least 16 hours without food. Second and really major principle of autophagy is that you're keeping your protein load under 20 grams. Now, this is an overlap with fast mimicking. Fast mimicking believes keeping it under 20 is beneficial for stem cell production, but then it also keeps calories down in fast mimicking. This is not fast mimicking. We're not keeping calories down. We are focused on protein low, okay? 20 grams. That means you're gonna have to measure. Many of you are gonna be blown away at how little 20 grams is. I will be showing in my resetter group this week a lot of different variations of what 20 grams of nuts look like, what 20 grams of sliced meat looks like. I will show you that as I go through the week so you can have a little bit of an idea. I think a lot of you will be surprised it's not a lot of protein. So measure it. The measure I love is Carb Manager. There's a lot of great apps out there, but this week, I really encourage you to look at how much protein you're getting throughout the week. Really zone in on this. Now, some of you are gonna say, well, what about carbs? I encourage, if you wanna get yourself into ketosis this week, and keep that autophagy at its maximum, I really recommend you keep your carb load under 50 gram net carbs. So the goal is for you to come out of this week feeling like a rock star and feel like you dropped the weight from Thanksgiving, that you're ready to go into your holiday season in tip-top shape. So it's gonna have to, lack of a better word, it's gonna have to hurt a little bit this week. It's gonna be a little bit of deprivation, but you'll see if you follow these principles, the body knows what to do, and it will start to kick into ketosis and autophagy. Your hunger will go away. You'll feel awesome on Friday, okay? So less than 20 grams protein, 50 net grams carbohydrates. Fasting for 16 hours, no cream in your coffee. Those are the first two rules. Now, the third rule, when you break your fast, you're gonna start with fat first. Why is that? She has people start with fat first because you'll be amazed that even if you take a scoop of nut butter, at first you might be a little bit like, oh, I'm still hungry. Or if you do a half of an avocado or a full amount of avocado, you will find that it kills your hunger really quickly. And many of you who have been trying to fast a little longer are gonna find like, wow, I could go another 2, 3, 4 hours if I just have a little bit of fat. So fat first is a hunger killer. And yet it doesn't completely pull you out of a fasted state. It doesn't completely pull you out of ketosis if you're in ketosis. So it's a really smart thing to do. She recommends it on her low protein days in her book. So we're gonna eat fat when you break it, and then 2 hours later, you can start to introduce protein and you can start to introduce carbs. Now that leads me to my fourth rule that I have for autophagy fasting. I'm gonna really encourage you to eat most of your carbs at the end of the day. Now, if you're staying under 50 net grams of carbohydrates, there's a very good chance you're gonna be eating mostly vegetables. Totally fine. And you may throw some fruit in there, but most of you are gonna find like an apple is 17 grams of carbs, so that might not work for you. But if you're gonna have more carb-centric foods, have them at dinner, have them at the end of the day. So I'm thinking just off the top of my head that I'm gonna do a scoop of nut butter or a half of an avocado. 2 hours later, I'm gonna do some hard-boiled eggs, maybe do some cut vegetables, I may have some sliced meat at my office, so I may start my protein then. But that's what it's gonna probably look like for me. again, stay tuned. This is all brand new. We're going to try it this week and see how everybody does with it. Okay? So there's I think I named about 4 to 5 different things. You're going to fast for 16 hours. You're going to keep your protein under 20 grams. You're going to do your carbs last. Make sure that your carbohydrates are last and that your fat is first. So those are kind of the 4 basic main principles that you're going to follow. Now, a couple questions that my resetters asked. You guys asked, how do I know grams to weight? Well, Dr. Google is really good for this kind of thing. If you just type in how many cups in 2 grams of protein or vice versa, you'll start to see the calculations. What I'm going to hope to do is throughout the week, I'm going to show you, like, this is how much grams is a cup of nuts. This is how many grams is 4 slices of antibiotic-free salami. So we're still trying to eat really clean. So I'll show you that throughout the week. I will be showing that in my resetter group. I'll also be showing it on my Instagram. So follow both of those places. I'll be taking pictures as I go throughout the day. Okay. Somebody also said, if you've read her book, somebody said what she recommends is cycling. So she has low protein days, high protein days, low protein days, high protein days. For this fast, we are just going to do the low protein days because I really want your body to maximize autophagy. As we get into the end of the week, I'm going to share with you why I think high protein days actually are really great and when you should throw them in and what they can do for you. So stay tuned because as we go through the week, I'll be explaining that more. But for the purpose of really trying to get your body to maximize autophagy, we're going to only do low protein. Okay, the other thing that I heard that one of my resetters asked was, is oil pulling considered breaking a fast? Not that I know of, I wouldn't consider it breaking a fast. So one of the ways you always know if something like coffee or tea breaks your fast is if you take a cup of coffee or take your blood sugar measurement, then drink the cup of coffee, and then an hour later do it again, take another measurement, and if your blood sugar stays high within an hour after the food, it's kicking your body out of a fasted state. Now, if your blood sugar goes low or if your blood sugar stays the same, then you're staying in that fasted state, and that particular food is okay. So, and then my last thing that I want to share is your blood sugar reader. So when are you gonna use this thing? So again, every day this week, if you have a Keto Mojo, which is our favorite, you're gonna take a blood sugar and a ketone reading first thing in the morning, and then right before that fat meal. Okay. So everybody's going to do that throughout the week. What we're looking for is we want your blood sugar to be between 70 and 90, and we would like your ketones to be between 0.5 and all the way up to, usually in a fast like this, you'll probably, the highest might be 3.0. If it gets higher than 3.0, let us know on the page, but we would like to see that being the range of blood sugar and ketones. So, questions?
What about MCT oil? MCT
oil is fine outside of the 16-hour period. Totally fine. In fact, we want you doing a lot of fat. There's no regulations in fat, but during that 16-hour period, if you're going to do caffeine, it has to have no MCT, nothing in it. We're really trying to get your body a maximum autophagy.
Is there any macro for the fat?
Over 60% is what we recommend. Again, if you look at Carb Manager, that's going to help you see where you're at. Even myself, I put everything on Carb Manager this week so that I could start to get a rhythm with it. So don't be afraid to lean on tools like that. So, other questions?
Can't read all of this question the way we have it set up, unfortunately. Ellen from the UK, Ernie from the UK, stayed up to watch. Your Earl Grey tea you mentioned was the first step of breaking the fast. Unfortunately, I can't pull up the rest of the comment.
Okay, so let's talk about Earl Grey tea. And you probably get a lot of it in the UK, right? I before reading this book, I never knew about Earl Grey tea being a real benefit for autophagy. So it has bergamot in it, citrus bergamot, and that is what facilitates autophagy. There are many things I like about this book. There are many things I don't like about the book, but I'm gonna pull the little nuggets out, and one of them is Earl Grey tea. So if you're already in autophagy, and then you add in some green tea and you add in some Earl Grey, you're enhancing the autophagy that you've already set forward with your 16-hour fast. So I hope that answers your question, Eric. If it doesn't...
No, Eleni.
Oh, Lenny?
Eleni.
Eleni? Okay, I hope that answers your question. If not, just please put it in the comments section.
She has one other question about the blood sugar reader.
Great.
Being essential or not. Yeah,
I get this question a lot. It's not essential. You can still go through the whole experience, but it is an incredibly helpful tool. And I'll tell you, with my own clients, we get people off of the scale because the scale doesn't tell you anything. Most of you, if you follow this the way that I set it out, most of you are going to lose weight, I guarantee you. And you'll be so excited on Friday, and then you'll start to add in some high protein days and you'll gain the weight back. This is not fasting. This style is more about a shapeshifter. It's about health. It's about getting your body to become a fat burner. So the only way you know if your body's becoming a fat burner is with the blood sugar reader. Otherwise, if you don't have that tool, you just have to trust that the process is working. And that's fine too. I mean, we had this discussion in my office this week with Jessica and I, who runs all our detoxing programs. She's like, I don't really measure my ketones and blood sugar anymore because I can really tell when I'm in that state of ketosis. And a lot of you may already be in that place. And that's fine. That's totally fine. So
that was it.
Great questions, and thank you for staying up to watch us. We have got a lot of people from the UK. We've got some people from Australia, and you guys are really active, and we love having you here. So, okay, let's do it. I'm crazy excited about this. I'll just kind of open up my mind here for you. In the new year, I have come up with a 15-day metabolic reset that combines autophagy fasting, it combines stem cells, fasting to access stem cells, and it combines how do you get yourself into ketosis. So for 15 days, we're going to do in the beginning of January a whole metabolic reset that combines all these principles. So it's really fun for me to watch what happens to you all and how you like this type of fasting. And what I'm hoping to do as we go into the new year is that you then have this like toolbox where you're like, oh, I need stem cells because I need to repair a musculoskeletal injury. So I'm going to come over here and do a stem cell fast. I want to slow the aging process down, which is what Glow 15 is all about. So I'm going to come over here and do autophagy fasting. I really want to have insane mental clarity and start to burn more fat. Well, that's what keto fasting is all about. So I'm looking to create a structure for you guys so when you have an intention with your health, you know how to click in. And I hope that's helpful. So if you want more information on the metabolic reset, just put metabolic reset in the comments, and we'll make sure that you get all the information on it. We will be live streaming it, so those of you that aren't local. And if you're not a resetter, just put resetters in there. We'll invite you in. We got a growing group in there. This is the fast we're doing this week. If you're a resetter, if you want to do a different fast, we don't discriminate against fasting. You can do any other fast you want, and we're all here to support you. I just wanted to roll out something different for those of you who've been doing this as a group. Once we started in January, 1 5-day fast because the group requested it. We've been doing 1 5-day fast a month. So it's pretty cool, you guys that have been following me through this whole year. And this one's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to share it with you. And stay tuned as I post more about Glow 15 and what I've learned from this book.
One last question?
Yeah, one last question.
Breaking the fast with macadamia nuts.
Yeah. Because it's fat and protein. So yes, it would be fine because you're going to have a little bit of fat and protein with the nut butter as well. So not a problem. You know, it would be a nice add-on to the macadamia nuts is a little bit of ghee so that you get more fat. Just because we're trying to break the fast with something that doesn't spike your hunger. So macadamia nuts, put a little, my favorite is Fourth and Hearth Himalayan salt ghee. I put it on top of nut butter all the time. So you can take a little macadamia nut and put it on top and eat it. My husband doesn't think that sounds so good. So, okay. As always, I'm excited to do this with you. Please reach out. I'm here for you if you have any questions. Have an awesome day.